Let's further discuss this now with Omer Ozkizilcik. He joins me live from Ankara. He's a security analyst and a non-residential fellow at the Atlantic Council. Thank you so much for being with us on the program. So we have come a step closer to a terror-free Turkiye. How do you read into this development?
I mean, we have to see that this development is a further trust-building measure that the PKK has taken to re-portray and recast its willingness to really engage in disarmament and to dissolve itself. And even though this step will not have a major implication on the ground, as the PKK was carved out of Turkey's territory, the remaining small units that were inoperable have withdrawn officially from Turkey to northern Iraq. And this shows that the PKK is reminding the public and its constituency that the decision is still valid and that they are moving forward towards dissolving themselves. That being said, we also see that this development plays an important role for the Turkish public sentiment, because in recent months, there were many talks, there were many discussions, negotiations, public statements, but on the ground, symbolic steps were not taken yet. We had the last symbolic measure in which when PKK symbolically burned some of its weapons in a portray of its willingness to disarm. And this is just another step into the direction of PKK disarmament, but it will take time.
Yeah, I mean, I want to get some analysis from the security perspective. There still is a threat, maybe not so much so within Turkey, but external threats, as there are extensions of the PKK terror group.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the major issue here is Syria, where we have, as of now, a deadlock. The process in Syria is not moving forward. And in Iraq, we haven't seen any handover of PKK weapons to the Turkish state or any people deserting from the PKK's rank en masse. So there were some individual desertions only. And from a security point of view, the things are moving not quite in any direction. We have a stalemate in which the PKK is just taking trust-building measures, but is not actually delivering on the ground. So this is a gap that has to be overcome. And we also see that this step has been taken after Abdullah Öcalan has probably sent a video message to the PKK, as we can imagine, interpret from the picture of today's happenings. But in terms of security, the Turkish army has not taken one step back. The Turkish military pressure is still there. But the PKK and its Syrian branch have also not taken real steps on the ground. And the integration process in Syria is in a stalemate. We don't know if it will progress. There are some statements, but no actual on-the-ground movements. And in Iraq as well. So it will be difficult to achieve this terror-free Turkey. It will need some time, it will need some pressure, and it will need also some convincing within the PKK, because we know that some elements within the PKK are not really interested in disarming and dissolving themselves. So they have engaged in some sabotaging acts in recent weeks and months.
To break this stalemate that you're talking about, could we witness Turkey exert more diplomatic pressure?
I mean, the issue with the PKK is that this is not direct negotiations with the PKK. This is not a negotiated settlement so that we can expect Turkey to exert diplomatic pressure. This is a government victory in which one side basically forced the other side to disarm and dissolve, and is willing to give them an exit way. So Turkey, if the PKK is not moving and this stalemate continues, may accelerate its pressure on the PKK and its Syrian branch. And we have seen some signs of that in recent days and weeks and months. But in the end of the day, it will depend on the PKK and Abdullah Öcalan or what they will do. So we see that the PKK is seeing that they're heavily pressured and that their strategy basically failed. And Turkey may have to remind the PKK that the only way forward is disarmament and solution of itself and the integration into the Syrian state in Syria. Otherwise, the Turkish pressure might be ramped up and increased against the PKK and its Syrian branch, the YPG-dominated SDF.
Okay, Omer Ozkizilcik, thank you so much for being with us here on TRT World and sharing that insight with us.